When your dog reacts differently to strangers, do you actually know what that means? You might think it's just personality. Maybe your dog is friendly with some people and wary of others. But behind that simple reaction, there's something deeper that most dog owners completely miss. It's one of the most instinctive and vulnerable things your dog can do. And if you misunderstand it, which most owners do, you might accidentally confuse your dog or even weaken their sense of safety. Let's start with what this behavior really means. 1. It's not random. It's a judgment system. Have you ever noticed this? Your dog happily greets one stranger, tail wagging, body relaxed. But then another person walks in, and suddenly your dog freezes or backs away or even barks. Most people think it's about mood. Oh, my dog just doesn't like that person. Here's what's actually happening. Your dog isn't reacting randomly. They're making a rapid judgment based on signals you don't even notice. Dogs read micro details: body, tension, movement speed, tone of voice. To you, two strangers may seem identical. To your dog, they're completely different emotional profiles. And emotionally, this isn't about liking or disliking. It's about safety. Think about that for a second. Your dog is constantly scanning. Is this person predictable, calm, safe to approach? In a pack, survival depends on reading others correctly fast. One wrong judgment could mean danger. So, when your dog hesitates or reacts differently, they're not being difficult. They're doing their job. And what this reveals is powerful. Your dog doesn't rely on what you see. They rely on what they feel. And that changes everything. 2. Your dog is reading energy. And science proves it. Now here's where it gets even deeper. Have you ever felt uneasy around someone, even if you couldn't explain why? Your dog experiences that, but stronger. Most people assume dogs just react to obvious things like loud noises or sudden movement. But here's what's actually happening. A 2017 study from the University of Kyoto found that dogs can evaluate human trustworthiness based on subtle behavioral cues. In the study, dogs refused to follow cues from people who had previously acted inconsistently or deceptively. But what matters is this. Your dog isn't just observing actions. They're forming emotional conclusions. Another line of canine cognition research shows dogs are highly sensitive to human body language and emotional states often more than we are ourselves. So when a stranger approaches, your dog is reading posture, eye contact, muscle tension, even breathing rhythm. And emotionally, they're asking, is this person stable or unpredictable? Think about that for a second. In the wild, unpredictability equals danger. So if your dog reacts cautiously to someone, it may not be fear. It may be intelligence. And what this reveals about your dog is incredible. They are constantly interpreting the emotional world around them, reacting to it. 3. Your scent is their safe base. Now here's what most people don't realize. Your dog doesn't experience strangers in isolation. They experience them in relation to you. Most people think dogs just decide how they feel about someone independently. But here's what's actually happening. Dogs rely heavily on scent and proximity to determine safety. A 2021 study from the University of Helsinki found that dogs can recognize and prioritize their owner's scent even when it's hidden among others. But what matters is this. Your scent isn't just familiar. It's reassuring. So when a stranger enters your space, your dog checks one thing first. Are they safe according to my human? Think about that for a second. If you're relaxed, open, calm, your dog is more likely to soften. But if your body stiffens even slightly, your dog notices and they adjust. Because in their mind, you are the safe base, the center of the pack. And every new person is evaluated based on how they affect that safety. What makes this even more powerful is this: your dog isn't just protecting themselves. They may be protecting you, and that's why their reaction changes depending on the situation. Because it's not about the stranger alone. It's about the relationship triangle. Stranger, you, your dog, and your dog is always watching that connection. Now, before we keep going, if you're learning something new about your dog, hit like and subscribe. That's how we get these videos to more people who want to build a real bond with their dog. This behavior comes from wolf instincts. Now let's go deeper into where this comes from. Because your dog didn't learn this from training. They were born with it. Most people think this behavior develops over time, but here's what's actually happening. This instinct goes back to early pack survival. In wolf packs, every new presence is a potential threat. There's no such thing as neutral. A stranger is either safe or dangerous. And the cost of getting it wrong is survival itself. Think about that for a second. Even puppies, at just a few weeks old, begin to show caution toward unfamiliar beings. It's not taught. It's wired. And here's where it gets even deeper. In a pack, not all members react the same way. Some are more cautious. Some are more open. This variation increases the group's chances of survival. So your dog's unique reaction to strangers? That's not a flaw. That's evolutionary design. And what this reveals about your dog is profound. They're not just reacting in the moment. They're carrying thousands of years of instinct right into your living room. They don't do this with everyone, and that matters. Now, ask yourself this. Does your dog react the same way to every stranger? Of course not. Some people get instant trust. Others don't. Most people think this is random preference. But here's what's actually happening. Your dog is filtering people through layers of past experience. If someone reminds them even subtly of a past positive interaction, they relax. If something feels off even slightly, they hesitate. And emotionally, this is where it becomes personal. Think about that for a second. Your dog isn't just reacting to strangers. They're comparing them to their memory of the world. And here's the powerful part. They don't give that same level of trust to everyone, but they give it to you every single day. So when they hesitate with someone else, it highlights something deeper. Trust for your dog is earned, and you've already earned it. 6. The real reason. Your dog is balancing trust and protection. Now here's the ultimate truth behind all of this. When your dog reacts differently to strangers, they're doing something incredibly complex. They're balancing two instincts at the same time. The desire to trust, the need to protect. Most people think it's one or the other, friendly or aggressive. But here's what's actually happening. Your dog exists in the space between those two instincts. Every new person is a question. Do I open up or stay guarded? And emotionally, this is one of the most vulnerable things your dog can experience. Think about that for a second. Because choosing to trust means choosing to lower defenses. And that's risky. So, when your dog cautiously approaches someone, sniffs them, watches them wait, that's not hesitation. That's evaluation. And when they finally relax, that's not friendliness. That's acceptance. What makes this even more powerful is this. Your dog is constantly trying to align their judgment with yours. They're watching you, learning from you, trusting your reactions. So every interaction with a stranger becomes a shared decision between you and your dog. 7. If their reaction suddenly changes, don't ignore it. And by the way, if your dog ever suddenly changes how they react to strangers, don't ignore it. We need to talk about that. Most people assume behavior changes are just phases. But here's what's actually happening. A sudden shift can signal stress, fear buildup, health issues, or a loss of confidence. Think about that for a second. If a dog who was once friendly becomes withdrawn, or a calm dog becomes reactive, that's communication, not misbehavior. And here's where it gets serious. When these signals are ignored, they often escalate because your dog isn't being heard. So next time you notice a change, pause, observe, and ask, what is my dog trying to tell me? Because they're always telling you something. So when your dog reacts differently to strangers, it's not random. It's not just personality. It's not just friendliness or fear. It's a complex instinct-driven evaluation of safety, trust, and connection. That's not simple behavior. That's emotional intelligence. And that reaction? It was never small to your dog. And it shouldn't be small to you either.